Next up, at UFC Seattle, we have Jean Silva taking on Melsik Baghdasaryan. Jean Silva, 14-2 in his career, 5-0 in his last 5. He is riding an 11-fight win streak. He's taking on Melsik Baghdasaryan, 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off a decision win over Tucker Lutz with a very short MMA career of 8-2. Jean Silva, we've seen him time and time again. He's been very active. 2024 was absolutely his year, and he was in the contender for Breakout Fighter of the Year. Powerful striker, loose, creative. The creativity is really fun to watch, but it does get him into some weird positions. He's an interesting guy to watch because he'll fight with a high, tight guard, then he'll lower his hands, and he'll dance around nice and loose, and he alternates between the two so often that you never get to settle. You don't know what to expect, and you don't know where to go. He comes in with some power. He can find his finishes, but nothing is forced. His takedown defense is solid. The striking is killer. He's coming off his 3rd knockout win in a row. This time, a short notice stoppage over Drew Dober. He's taking on Melsik Baghdasaryan. Melsik Baghdasaryan is a very aggressive striker. He's always moving forward. He's got diverse striking. He does a great job mixing things up. Long professional kickboxing career before moving to MMA. Only 10 MMA fights, but he had a full lifetime of kickboxing before that. And that's going to matter in this matchup. He's got good forward pressure, good power, good diversity in the striking, and he's pretty fun to watch, but there are definitely some grappling holes. He's coming off that decision win over Tucker Lutz, where his striking looked good and he was tough. But he reminded us 0 takedown defense. And I don't think that takedown defense is going to matter. I don't see Jean Silva shooting a takedown. And before anybody says, but he's at Fighting Nerds and they've got great game plans. Oh, yeah? What was What's-Her-Name's game plan in that last fight?
Hey, Not going to talk about Bruno like that. No way.
You want the mic
no
treatment?
Way.
So anyway, Jean Silva is a striker. Melsik Baghdasaryan is a striker. Melsik has a long professional kickboxing career. I am going to pick Jean. I think he's younger. Well, I don't know. Not younger in like literal sense because yes, he is. But I mean just in the career, he's faster. He's evolving faster. We're seeing giant leaps forward in the technique. We're seeing more comfortability in the cage. I think he's just going to be a little too much for Melsik Baghdasaryan, but I think these odds are kind of great. Like, Melsik's a professional kickboxer. This is basically going to be a kickboxing match. And Jean is very good, but is he 7-1 favorite good? I guess we'll find out. Jean Silva's going to be the pick. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, there is definitely a world where Melsik wins this fight. I like Melsik. I've always been a big fan of Melsik. People are going to, try to put 1 + 1 = 2 with the, he got subbed by Cooley Bao, so Jean Silva Fighting Nerds can just take him down. So that was like a fluke weird situation. He was beating the fuck out of Cooley Bao. It kind of slipped right into like Cooley Bao's arm just ended up underneath his neck. It was like, I guess I'll fucking choke him out. Just a weird situation. I love Melsik. I like Melsik. He has the skills he is the more technical striker of the two. He is a very technical, high-level kickboxer, Muay Thai, all that bullshit. What I hate about Melsik going into this fight, kid's got a fucking ego, right? He's good. He knows he's good. You saw that in the face-offs with Josh Cooley Bao. He's chewing that gum, And it grabs Cooley Bao's neck and shit. Like, this dude is he believes in his abilities. And for that reason, when he gets in these firefights with Jean Silva, he's not a guy that's going to back down. I promise you, he's not going to back down from Jean Silva. And in a power versus power situation, I like Jean Silva to win those moments, especially Melsik being a timing striker who is coming off a long layoff, big injuries, blew out his knee, had all those setbacks and everything. When you are a timing striker and you are trying to find your timing against a guy like Jean Silva, God, that probably is not going to go well. Probably is not going to go well. And even if you're landing on Jean Silva, honestly, he doesn't really give a fuck. So if I'm Melsik and I'm game planning for Melsik coming into this fight, I tell Melsik, for the love of God, try to win a decision. You are the more technical fighter. Do not go into this fight trying to knock this guy out. Keep your range, be technical, point point, get the 15 minutes, and hope you can get the judges' scorecards. But I think Melsik comes in, gets hit a couple times, bites down, tries to beat him to the punch, and ends up getting hurt because of it. I'm a big fan of Melsik. He has the abilities, but the long layoff with a timing striker against a guy like Gene, I think it's going to be a tall task. So I'm on the Gene side, but I respect Melsik to not bet on Gene at these odds.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it.
He's a better striker.
He's a long time.
And this is literally one of those situations where you're like, sometimes being the better fighter just doesn't fucking matter because John Silva is just a fucking John Silva, former lock of the week as well. I can't believe he was a dog versus Drew Dober.
I mean, well, that was a quick turnaround. I agree. Quick turnaround, all those things, and he just absolutely smoked Drew Dober. In my breakdown in the Quick Picks video, I literally was like, Melsik is not Drew Dober. He's not just some random American with no actual striking credentials that's like no, he is a professional kickboxer that has done that his entire life. So this should be competitive, but we're both on the John Silva side.
You know,
we both have a lot of respect.
Might feel like is, and I respect Melsik's toughness as well. I'm not saying that I think he gets flatlined or whatever. He knows how to take a shot, and he's a tough dude as well. I think this could be like the and you're gonna love this reference, the Cheeto Rob Font fight, where I think Melsik is going to be landing. Rob was
the better fighter. But
yeah, I think Melsik is going to be landing. I mean, Gene is not like a unhittable guy, right? I think Melsik is going to be, landing some good shots and scoring or whatever. And then there's just going to be those big moments where in front of the fans, in front of the crowd, and I think that's going to end up winning Gene the fight.
Dude, people hated my take on the Font Cheeto fight because it was like Font was the best. He doubled the strikes. He was just getting dropped at the end of every round because he's chinny, but he doubled the strikes. He was touching Cheeto up. People were like, yeah, he sucks. It's like, dude, he doubled the strikes. Doubled them. Anyway, WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Unlock everything you could ever need. If you're building a DraftKings fantasy lineup, we have a wild suite of tools for you. If you just want to play some bets with the boys and have some fun, we have a whole bunch of bets ready to go. If you like to do your own research, you don't want anybody else's opinion, that's great. We have a tool called the Data Analyzer. Every data point you can ever want or need, you can search, stack, filter, and then even watch the fights themselves. So
Angel
you
is
can do your
playing
research
the
right
victim. Everyone had the same take as you. Yes, you have AIDS, but you're not always the victim.
What is he talking about? The Font take? Everybody did not have that take. People were just people fucking hated that. This guy's a fucking loser. Imagine being here and hate watching. Jesus Christ.
Everything a song is about you, don't you? You're so vain.
Everything is in and about you. Okay.